Hey guys, welcome back to our Echo Education series called Echo in 11. Today we're going to talk about the mid-esophageal aortic valve short access view. So we see the aortic valve in short access in the center of our screen, but first we're going to focus on the chambers of the heart. So hopefully this is becoming repetitive by now, but that left atrium is going to be the chamber closest to our TEE probe at the top of the image. Next, we're going to move across. This is that intraatrial septum, and across that intraatrial septum is the right atrium. Down here, we have the tricuspid valve, so that's going to lead us into our right ventricle. And then at the distal part of our right ventricle, you can't really see it, but our pulmonic valve is right there, and our RVOT is just proximal to that pulmonic valve. Next, why don't we talk about the aortic valve itself, and I'm going to allow you to identify the cusps of the aortic valve. So the aortic valve has three cusps. They're named for the coronary arteries that come off distal to them. So there are two main coronary arteries, your right coronary artery and your left main coronary artery. But as typically there are three aortic valve cusps, that leaves us with what we call the non-coronary cusp because it is not associated with a coronary artery. That non-coronary cusp is going to be associated with your intraatrial septum. So that's your intraatrial septum, and then your non-coronary cusp is right there. We already talked about this chamber down here being the right ventricle, and as our right ventricle is supplied by the right coronary artery, this is our right coronary cusp. This allows our remaining coronary cusp to be the left coronary cusp. And with the left coronary cusp, we can see something that's kind of coming off distal to it right here. And that is going to be your left main coronary artery. So I think this is a very cool view because I told you that the coronary arteries come off distal to the aortic valve, but in this particular clip you can see it, which I think kind of reinforces the idea of why these coronary cusps are named as such. So just to recap, closest to the probe we have our left atrium. Across the intraatrial septum we have the right atrium. Down here we have the right ventricle. And once again, this is our mid-esophageal aortic valve in short access, and that's because right in the center of our image we see our aortic valve in short access.